Hi again, everyone. I am Dr. Jodie Ann Senior. I'm a heart failure specialist and cardiologist. And today we are going to talk about something that came up in one of my patient consultations. I got an email from this patient. She was very worried because she'd been told that on a CT scan or a CAT scan of her chest, she had fluid around her lungs and around her heart, and she was told to follow up with her heart specialist, me. I happened to be overseas at the time, but not for long, and so on return I made a point of seeing her, and I said to her, look, there's probably better ways to assess if there's any fluid around the heart. When I actually got the full context of this story, however, it appeared that she had been in hospital with pneumonia, and the pneumonia could well cause fluid around the lungs. We call this a pleural effusion, and that's when there's sort of a clearish liquid that's sitting around the lung, between the lung lining and the lining that is around in the chest cavity. So they should be close together. There shouldn't actually be space between the two, but sometimes what happens is that the two linings actually come apart and expand either with air or fluid or blood, depending on the situation. So I was just going to show you guys a chest x-ray that gives you an idea of what this is. I'm going to turn around. And here is the heart shadow, the chest cavity, and this here indicates the fluid. You should be able to see the heart border sit around like that. And this is the diaphragm. You should see perhaps the edge of that there. This indicates, this fluffy white stuff here indicates water where it shouldn't be. So, to evaluate this further, I examined her clinically. I looked for signs of that there might be fluid by listening to her chest, and we call it percussing. It's tapping the chest to see if there's a dullness indicating water rather than air. And then following that, recommended that she have a repeat chest x-ray to see if it's gone. But in the meantime, for a better assessment for the heart size, and whether or not there's actually fluid around the heart, is to do what we call an echocardiogram. This is a heart ultrasound, and that can send beams through the chest wall and through the heart, and can have a look for, really what we're seeing is a dark space around the heart that shouldn't be there. And so we did that, and her heart function was still well preserved, and in fact she did not have any fluid in the sac around the heart, which we would call a pericardial effusion. So that was reassuring. I've then sent her off for a repeat chest x-ray to make sure that the pneumonia and the effusions have cleared, and hopefully all will be good. A broader question, I guess, is why are these effusions there, and what can that mean? There are actually lots of different causes for water sitting around the lung like that. One of them is heart failure, but there are others, like the infection that this lady had. So infected causes are common. Sometimes it's more sinister things like cancer. This is why we can't necessarily just jump to the conclusion that the water around the lung is from heart failure. In fact, hers doesn't appear to be so. We're evaluating that a little bit further just to make sure, but the clinical context in her situation was much more likely that that was related to her lung infection, her pneumonia. So I think, if you get told you have fluid around the lungs, it might be reasonable to see your heart specialist about that, but there can be other causes for this. And so that needs further evaluation, and the treatment at the end of the day might be the same, it might be different, but essentially to get rid of that fluid means perhaps the use of diuretics. However, if it's infective, maybe it's diuretics, but you want to treat the underlying infection. Obviously, if it's something more sinister like cancer, you need that followed up and you need that cancer treated appropriately. So there is a broad base idea for why you might have fluid in that space around the lungs that isn't supposed to be there. And hopefully that helps you understand that a little bit better and know what it means and what it looks like and what might need to be assessed to get to the bottom of it. I will see you next time. If you can, subscribe to the channel. If this is something that's going to help you, then I really recommend you do that so you don't miss anything. And if you have questions for me, or if you in fact have some topics that you'd like covered, then please leave me a comment below and I will try and accommodate. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.